Fan questions?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I got some.
Yeah.
Oh, you have some.
Yeah, dude, because I, like you recommended, went through our comments. So I found some good ones. So this is a great question by Ella Sophia. She said, I just listened to the ketamine conversation in your last podcast. It is interesting that we encourage people not to find escapes from mental anguish through the use of drugs and alcohol. But then, as discussed, the right dose of drugs like ketamine can be seen as helpful or medicinal. So maybe these escapes are actually spiritual experiences bringing us to the right place. As Ben mentioned, a place of apathy. I have my thoughts on that, but I'm curious what you think.
I haven't done a lot of what are considered the drugs. I've done some psychedelics, but I've never done.
Okay, I'll weigh in.
Yeah.
So I've done substances that could count as escapes or count as therapeutic, actually. Acid, psilocybin, things of that nature, MDMA. And I have found that there actually is a massive difference, even with the same substance, between using something as an escape versus using something as a medicine or a therapeutic purposes. So I've actually found that the setting and the intent makes a huge difference. So my friend's wedding, we all did acid, and I didn't learn anything. I didn't reflect on myself. I didn't reflect on the nature of the universe. I didn't think about kindness. I thought, wow, this is really loud techno music.
Yeah.
And it was, I would call it an escape, and I don't even mean that pejoratively. It was fun. It was just meant to be pleasant while on it. Mm-hmm. Didn't even turn out to be pleasant while on it. But yeah, that was the intent. I've done MDMA, and the intent was to have a good time on it. And that's exactly what you get, and you don't get anything afterwards. When you do it for a therapeutic or spiritual purpose, I think you're doing it in a different setting with a different energy coming into it and a different intent. And the experience you get is completely different. So, for example, when I did ketamine, I sat in a chair that was a zero gravity chair with an eye mask on. I listened to a Sam Harris meditation, and then I listened to nondescript binaural beats that was meant to create a sensory deprivation experience with the intent of thinking about specific things. In my case, it was anxiety around wealth creation and why releasing the need for people that I don't know to have good opinions of me because of the stuff we do. And so that was what was on my mind going into it. And so it led to a very deep hour of reflection that I thought was powerful and heart opening, as she referenced. But if I had taken the same ketamine and then gone to Chipotle with my friends to hang out, I wouldn't have had the space to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's actually not, it's not based on the substance. Some are good, some are bad. It's about creating the environment and the mental environment to allow yourself to have a breakthrough. And the only caveat I would have is I have never heard of people having those experiences on certain substances like alcohol.
I was going to say, what about an alcohol circle?
No, so that's the thing. And so I would say that some of them lend themselves to both.
Maybe we've never tried. Maybe we've never had a bunch of people in ponchos with a fire in the middle.
This is what I'm saying. I don't
taking drinks.
I don't think. I could be wrong. So I think there are some things that lend themselves more easily or seem to traditionally be used, and they tend to be psychedelics.
Sure.
But that's my experience. No one snorts cocaine and then sits and meditates for an hour about heart opening.
I think that there is a derivative of the cocoa leaf, though, that is used for that.
It's not when you snort cocaine.
It's probably not
Trust
cocaine.
me.
Probably not cocaine.
Trust me.
But I believe that in a lot of those, what is it called? It's some sort of snuff from the cocoa leaf, which is often used in conjunction with other stuff.
So yeah, I think there's certain substances that lend themselves to one versus the other. There's certain substances that can be both. A lot of it is about the intent and the environment. Mm-hmm. But I do think that it would be, I would hope to never be interpreted as saying that to take psilocybin and go to a party is not an escape, but is therapeutic. I do not, that is the opposite of what I hope to convey. What I hope to convey is that these substances in the right setting and circumstance are powerful and helpful. Yeah. But it is not meant to be people should do psilocybin. People should do acid. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No.
Yeah. So that's my response to that question, which I thought was a great question.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the same thing is true of sobriety, right? Like you can sit in a chair and play a video game, or you could sit in a chair and meditate. I mean, it's your intent and your focus. You can even sit in a chair and think, which is not the same as sitting in a chair and meditating. Clearly, the intent which you bring to every experience has a dramatic effect on the spiritual depths that you go to.
Sure. Yeah. And the only thing I would say is that some substances seem to me to be more helpful than others. Yeah. So if someone wanted to have heart-opening empathy, I would recommend ketamine over cocaine. And if somebody was dealing with drug withdrawal or PTSD, I would recommend ibogaine over alcohol. Mm-hmm. There seems to be that certain substances are more useful than others.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Good question. Great question.
Did you have other questions, or are these now to Justin?
I have one more.
Yes.
They're not my questions. This is Andre.
This is Andre. Why doesn't Ben get more time?
Dude, this is so funny enough. It is a question for me, which I thought was a good question. But I actually wanted to address it again because I think it's not what I'm saying, I guess. So this is a question for me. It says, given that your goal in life seems to be the pursuit of happiness, why do you have any moral considerations? Why would morality have any weight in your decision-making process at all, given that at the end of the day, your goal is to be happy? That
was to you?
But we can see both. But you have said in the past, your higher order, when we compare the two, truth and happiness, your higher order value is truth. And I have said that one of my highest order values is happiness.
Got it. Okay.
But I do not put it as my highest, actually. Mm-hmm. So I would not steal from someone because money is good and I could use it to buy drugs that would make me happy or whatever. Like it's these things all occur in a society and where our values are to treat people well and not hurt people. And I definitely am not espousing that everyone pursue happiness at all costs.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
Not a hedonist.
No, hedonism is weird. It's where you take in the value of the society. No, utilitarian. Mm-hmm. Yeah, closer to a utilitarian than a hedonist, if that makes sense. I weigh the happiness of others in my decisions. Mm-hmm. So I would pursue my own happiness, but I would not want to pursue my own happiness to the detriment of other people. So,
but relative to deep, everlasting truth, more important than that, right?
For myself. Yeah, it's a self-interested thing. It's a self-interested thing. I want to be happy, but not at the expense of other people. I actually find that utilitarianism has, if you followed it to the letter, it has insane things that you could justify, like a gang rape, because you're adding a little bit of happiness to 1,000 people by brutalizing one person. Yeah. So I definitely am not saying that utilitarianism is the paradigm of philosophical value.
You just exploit minorities is essentially what utilitarianism does.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that if you're going to pursue happiness, you have to think about the happiness of other people, because what you're saying is that that's a value that matters. Mm-hmm. So if it matters to you, you have to assume it matters to other people too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny when you're in philosophy class, utilitarianism, when you get to it, because you often go in order. Chronologically, and you're like, yes, this is a good one, and then they come up with, they're like, okay, well, how does this, and it's like, maybe not strict utilitarianism, maybe with some laws and some rules and some minority rights would be a good thing to add to that.
It's not the end all be all. I guess I just reference it to say,
I forget if it was Bentham or if it was what's his face Mills that recognizes that, like, it's
I'm sure, no, but happiness is, I guess what I would say is happiness is important to everyone. Mm-hmm. And I don't, obviously, as all humans do, I value my own, but I don't think that other people's happiness doesn't matter. And so the question was, why don't I just do whatever I want in the pursuit of happiness? It's because you would leave a trail of mayhem in your path if you did that.
Which you're not for.
Yeah.
But I do think it's still, if you're like, okay, red pill, blue pill, not Matrix style, but style, like, this is going to be
I'm staying in the Matrix, dude. Are you kidding?
You're a blue pill.
When I first watched Neo in the Matrix, I thought to myself, obviously, you take the red pill. Mm-hmm. What kind of lunatic is Cypher for taking the blue pill? Now, no way.
Yeah.
We bombed the planet and ruined it for ourselves. And the robot's punishment was to create a utopian simulation for us. And they use our bodies for batteries.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily.
Thank God for them.
Yeah. Not utopian in this case, but good enough. The world.
Well, they tried. They tried.
They
tried to make it utopian and humans didn't like it. So they made it as good as they possibly could, but that the human psyche could still find rewarding. Because according to the movie, there's value in struggle. Mm-hmm. Sign me up, man. I'm staying in the simulation.
Got it.
And you would go out of it. You'd be eating gruel every day.
Not totally, man. I mean, I get to my limit. I really do. And again, it's only psychedelic experiences where I tap out and go, no more. Like, put me back.
You'd regret it, man. You'd think of me sitting in my bubble, eating filet mignon, sitting on the beach. You'd be eating oatmeal for the 900th day in a row out of a metal bottle.
Yeah, I do. I guess I have a faith that whatever ultimate truth is out there, I believe that there's struggle to arrive there, and you temporarily experience a dip where you're eating that metaphorical oatmeal. But I do have faith or a belief that the ultimate truth, if there is truth with a capital T, is wonderful, is in fact a good thing.
Well, yeah, because you go spiritual, which the Matrix doesn't do. The Matrix says the real world sucks. The real world is running from robots and eating gruel.
Well, no, it doesn't say that. It says you don't know what's on the other side of this red pill. He doesn't. He says, listen, there's more. He at that point in the movie, he does not know what the real world is. He says,
but you would take the red pill even knowing that it's gruel.
I would take the red pill, but you could never know. I would believe. I have this weird faith that on the other side, it's better. And yes, there's a war in between and we got to struggle with machines, but I would believe that it got better.
Yeah, it doesn't though. We saw the movie.
All right, what we got?